Hello, I'm Michelle and show you the eastern part of Maxvorstadt from the university to the old botanical garden. Maxvorstadt is one of Munich's liveliest districts. With its universities and the art area, it is both a science and art center. The many tourists, academics and students make for a culturally diverse and cosmopolitan district. Numerous small shops and galleries characterize the cityscape as well as the trendy cafes, restaurants and pubs. As always, you can find the detailed information about the individual sites in the info area of my YouTube channel and in my blog. Have fun discovering Maxvorstadt! We are starting at Medinaplatz and take the U3 direction Mosach or U6 direction Garching Forschungszentrum. After 2 stops, we already are at the train station Universität, which we are leaving in the direction of Akademiestrasse. First, up the escalator and then follow the signs for Geschwister-Scholl-Platz. Our path leads us to the right, to Geschwister-Scholl-Platz, in front of the main entrance of Ludwig-Maximilans-University. The siblings Sophie and Hans Scholl fought against National Socialism during the Second World War as part of the student resistance movement White Rose. The siblings had secretly distributed leaflets against the Nazis at the university and were sentenced to death. If you look closely, you can see her last fire embedded in stone in front of the main entrance. Now we'll go to the traffic light next to the subway and change the street side. From here, we are going again in southern direction to the Odeonsplatz. Professor Huber Square is now on our left. As you can see, there are identical fountains on both places. Their role models are in St. Peter's Square in Rome, which is why they're also called Roman fountains. They each have a diameter of almost 10 meters and a well column more than 8 meters high. On the way we pass Kaju, the cafe at the university. You can find me occasionally under one of the parasols in summer. I love to watch the hustle and bustle around the university from here. Right next to it is the church St. Ludwig. The altar fresco, The Last Judgment by Peter Cornelius, is absolutely worth seeing. It's the second largest in the world. Also worth seeing are the limestone figures of the 4 evangelists with Christ by Ludwig von Schwanthaler. A special feature of the church is a mosaic roof covered in many different colors. Just a few meters away and we are in front of the Bavarian State Library, also called Stabi. In addition to the total holdings of about 10 million printed works, there is also a copy of the Gutenberg Bibles. The use of the library is free and the large rooms with their nostalgic charm invite you to browse undisturbed. Continue in the direction of Odeonsplatz. At Starbucks we are reaching a first small panoramic view of the beginning of Odeonsplatz, which extends from the equestrian state of Ludwig I to the Feldherrnhalle. By the way, the concept for Maxvorstadt comes from King Maximilian I, whom the Bavarians lovingly called King Max. Unfortunately, he never saw it, but his successor Ludwig I had it built according to his designs from 1825. The building behind us is the so-called Bazaar building. Just as today, exclusive shops were already located here in the early 19th century. Caffe Tambozi is a Munich institution for everyone who wants to see and be seen. It forms the southern end of the bazaar building. Through the large gate we are reaching the residence court garden, which we will pay more attention to in our own tour. A visit to the beautiful garden terrace of Caffe Tambozi is enough for today. The two most striking buildings of Odeonsplatz are the Phaeton Challah and the Theatinerkirche. With the Phaeton Challah behind us, we have a wonderful view of the north-south axis of Ludwigstrasse and Leopoldstrasse with the Siegestor in the middle. The steps of the Phaeton Challah are a popular meeting place for the people of Munich and their guests. In view of the lively activity, very few people will think of what has already happened here. The Phaeton Challah was a place of worship for the Nazis because the rebellion of the Kappists had been suppressed here on November 9, 1923. Every year a propaganda march on the Phaeton Challah commemorated the 16 killed Kappists. On the eastern side of the monument was a commemorative plaque to which pastors had to pay tribute with a Hitler salute. If we look to the left from the steps of Phaeton Challah, we will see the light yellow facade of the Theatinerkirche St. Cajetan. It was built in the late 17th century in the style of the Italian late Baroque. The interior impresses with stucco work and Corinthian column elements and is mainly kept in white. On the way to the old botanical garden, we take a look at the Wittelsbacher Platz, with its bronze equestrian monument which represents Maximilian I. Because of its central location in Munich, the square is often used for events. Hamburg's fish market is popular in summer and the medieval Christmas market in winter. Incidentally, this is where the corporate headquarters of Siemens AG is located. On our further way we pass Café Luitpold. You have to like the somewhat dusty style, but the confectionery department is above all else. But we want to continue past the Wittelsbach fountain and the Palace of Justice to the old botanical garden. We leave Briennerstraße to the left, walk along Maximiliansplatz and Lenbachplatz until we see the Palace of Justice in front of us and the entrance to the old botanical garden to our right. The neo-Baroque Palace of Justice is one of the most magnificent places ever built for the judiciary in Germany. With its majestic glass dome, it shapes a cityscape around Karlsplatz. The enormous glass dome is located in the atrium of the Palace of Justice at the height of approximately 67 meters. With mighty stairways and 3 large round arched windows, the judiciary underlines its authority in an impressive way. In 1943, the Palace of Justice was the sense of trials against the members of the White Rose. The garden, originally planned as a botanical site at the beginning of the 19th century, can look back on an eventful history. Today it is a recreation area in the heart of Munich and is designated as a public green area. A special gem is a somewhat hidden beer garden in which you can eat the food you have brought along in accordance with the Bavarian tradition. About 100 meters from the Palace of Justice, you will find the underground station Karlsplatz, from where you will arrive at Marienplatz after only one stop. If the weather is nice, a walk to Marienplatz through the pedestrian zone is also worthwhile. This is the end of today's tour. A detailed description can be found in the info area of my YouTube channel or in my blog. Did you enjoy the tour? If so, I'd be happy about a like. Every 14 days a new video about Munich will be published here. If you don't want to miss any of them, just subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a nice day, your Michelle.